Okay, so 9.3 is graphing and writing equations of circles. Okay, so when you have a circle, you're going to pretend that this looks like a perfect circle. When you have a circle, right, you have a radius which comes from the center of the circle out to a point of a circle, and it's always the same distance across the whole thing, no matter where the radius is at, yes?
Yeah.
Okay, if I know that my radius starts at the origin, which is 0, 0, and I know that it goes to a point, x, y, I can actually figure out what the distance of that radius is using the distance formula. Yes? Okay, so the radius is a distance formula. So the distance formula says that you take x minus, or x1 minus x2 squared plus y1 minus y2 squared, and you set it equal to to your distance squared, right? And in this case, it's my radius squared. That's how we get the formula of a circle.
So, because for a circle is, I see that.
Because it would be x squared plus y squared equals r squared. Because to get rid of this square root, you would square both sides, right? And you would get r squared. That's how they come up with the formula for a circle. So a standard formula of a circle is very simple. It's x squared plus y squared equals r squared. Okay? So we're going to take that and apply it to graphing and to creating equations. Which means we might have to use the distance formula to get to this. Okay? If it says graph y squared equals negative x squared plus 36, what do I have to do to this equation first before I can graph it? If it has a y squared and an x squared, what form should it be set up in?
The x squared plus y squared, yeah. Y squared.
Right. So I'm going to move this over so that it's in the form of a circle.
So
I'm adding x squared to both sides, yes?
Mm-hmm.
So you get x squared plus y squared equals 36. Now, that's a formula for a circle.
Yeah.
Okay, so do a little bit of thinking because this is the easiest type of graph we're going to do. The center is 0, 0 because there's nothing being added to x and nothing being added to y. So this is the origin of my circle, okay? The center of my circle is the origin. How do I figure out what to graph from here?
Well, wouldn't it be numbers that would...
What's your radius?
36.
It's
Like
6.
six.
My radius
Yeah.
squared is 36. My radius is 6. So if my radius is 6, I can literally go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Oh, I
6.
see what you're saying. And then
6, 6, and then you can say,
the distance from...
Wait, that's it?
there's my circle. And of course, yours will look perfect because it will be on graph paper, so your stuff will be spaced out even. That's how you graph a circle.
Oh, so you...
When it's in standard form, you
use
literally
line
take the square root of this
and
and do it 4 times and then just connect
Oh,
those
so you
dots.
do it... Okay, so negative... Okay, even... Okay.
Right. And technically, from here to here is 6 units, right?
Yeah.
From here to here is 6 units. It doesn't matter where you go on that circle, it's always 6 units because it's your radius. So circles are the easiest thing to graph.
Wow.
Okay? Once you get it into the form x squared plus y squared equals, you take the square root of whatever that is, and you just graph that point 6 units away from the center because it's in standard form. And all we're doing today is stuff in standard form. So you won't have any origins that aren't 0, 0. So you won't have to do any shifting on your graphs.
Will we have to make in other lessons?
In other lessons, but not this lesson, no. Later in this chapter, yes. But right now, no.
You just have to
Okay.
have a sheet.
The ones where we'll shift will probably be in the second test of this section, not in the first test of this section, okay? We're gonna have another example besides this red one that's on the board. I have 3 other ones besides that, but I only got that far.
So you said this is the easiest part of it.
Yes,
Okay.
by far. Circles are like our
Did everybody
friends.
do good on this part?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. And in geometry, when we do this, everybody does well on this too. Okay. Then you have a question where it wants us to create an equation. It says the point 2, negative 5 lies on a circle whose center is the origin. So anytime it tells you the center is the origin, that's another set of points. What is the origin?
0, 0.
0, 0.
Yeah.
So you have to recognize, oh, there's my second set of points. It's 0, 0, okay? Write the standard form of the equation of a circle. This is where you have to use
use
the
that,
distance
okay.
formula, where you said, instead of it saying equals D, you're saying it equals R. So I'm taking the square root of x1 minus x2 squared plus y1, right, minus y2 squared, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, y1 minus y2 squared equals r, yes? Okay, so take the square root, actually, we're going to square both sides because we want to get rid of this, yes?
Yeah, what if it doesn't even out?
It will.
Okay.
And then I get 2
Oh, I see.
minus
Never
0
mind.
squared
Yeah, I see.
plus negative 5 minus 0 squared equals r squared, yes?
Mm-hmm.
What's 2 minus 0?
2,
So 2 squared is?
4,
What's negative 5 minus 0?
-5,
And negative 5 squared is?
25.
So 29 equals your radius squared, okay? So now I use that information and I simply take this equation and I say x squared plus y squared equals 29. There's your equation of the circle.
Oh, so you don't have to, so we can just leave it, you don't have to do anything else, you just leave it as r squared.
Correct, because r squared is, see how the equation of a circle is x squared plus y squared equals r squared? So that's why I went ahead and squared both sides so that it would automatically say r squared equals. So I can just plug it straight into this equation. Okay, and on all of your homework tonight and on everything we do on this first section of the chapter, it's gonna simply be x squared plus y squared equals r squared. There's nothing fancy about it, okay? So you just work the distance formula backward. Well, you just work the distance formula instead of it equaling D, it equals R. And we will go ahead and square it on both sides so that we don't take the square root of anything, you know. We don't have to do that fancy stuff. Okay, so we get some simple things there. Let us try this. Roll, what is an equation of the line tangent to the circle? Okay, what is an equation of the line tangent to the circle? X squared plus y squared equals 13. And at negative 3, 2. What does tangent mean?
It's like, it's straight, isn't that like one of the, it's part of SOHCAHTOA, isn't it, some of that?
What?
Isn't that like part of SOHCAHTOA?
It is part of SOHCAHTOA, kind of. Okay, so if I have a circle, okay, if I have a circle and a line is tangent to it, okay, it means that it hits that circle once, like this,
Yeah.
okay? And what type of angle does it create when it hits that circle like that?
And that should be straight. Like,
Are you talking about the angle? Like, between?
Like, yeah, so like if I'm coming from the center of this circle,
a right angle?
it creates a right angle.
Mm.
What do you know about two lines that are perpendicular to each other?
They have opposite slopes.
They have opposite slopes. So what do you think we need to find?
Slope.
A slope at some point, okay? A slope. Now, what points am I gonna use for a slope?
-3, 2,
And?
0, 0.
0, 0, beautiful. And 0, 0. So let's find the slope first. So slope is change in y over change in x, yes?
Mm-hmm.
So 2 minus 0 over negative 3 minus 0, you get negative 2/3, yes? Okay, but it is perpendicular to that, to the line that's tangent. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to find the equation of this line right here. Because this is negative 3, 2, yes?
Yeah.
We're trying to find the equation of this line. And it's tangent to this. We just found the slope of this line, correct?
Yeah.
So what does that mean about our slope that we're gonna use? It's gonna do what?
Flip.
Flip. It's gonna be the opposite reciprocal. So the slope we want is 3/2. Okay, because we're trying to find the equation of this line. What's the equation of a line?
Y equals mx plus b.
Great. Problem is,
Oh, we don't have it, that's what you're saying.
we don't have a b, right? So if I don't have a b, there's another equation I can use for lines. I have a slope, what else do you need?
Point,
Do I have a point?
yes.
So point slope form? What does point slope form look like?
Wasn't that,
Isn't it over in front?
isn't that like y,
Uh-huh.
y1 minus y2?
It's
Y
y
times
minus
y1
y1 equals the
M.
slope times
X.
x
Yeah.
minus,
X1.
good. Okay, here's my slope, here's my point. Okay, so I plug in, I say y minus 2 equals 3/2 times x minus -3, yes? Okay, so I get y minus 2 equals 3/2x. What's 3 times 3?
9.
And then divided by 2, you get, good. Now I add 2 to both sides, right? And I get y equals 3/2x plus 6.5. There's the equation of that line that is tangent to the circle.
That's it.
That's it. It's everything that you've done in the past.
So if it's always gonna say like, write an equation for the line.
That's tangent
It's
to
always-
it.
It's always gonna be.
Just find the slope
Yes,
first.
you're always gonna find the slope
and then
first,
do point
then
slope.
you have to do the reverse, the opposite reciprocal of that slope. Then you use point slope form with the point they gave you
And
originally.
it's always gonna be points.
Correct, oh, correct.
And then when we find the slope, always use 0, 0, because that's
Correct.
basically assume they're using the origin.
Right, on all of this homework, you will always be using the homework. Later in the chapter, on part 2 of our test, not part 1, like we're gonna break this chapter into 2 tests. The slope, the center of the circle will not be 0, 0 anymore. But they'll tell you what it is, so you'll know what to
I
use.
have a question on that one.
Okay, ask.
It's like, what's the R?
The radius?
Okay, yeah.
Mhm.
Is it always gonna be the square root of the number?
It's always gonna be the square root of the number, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, so then, kind of like on that one, when you square the square root of that, it always gets to the whole, like, 29?
Correct.
Okay.
It always gets to whatever that is in the equation of that circle. Because you've already squared it, because you took away the square root from the other side. You get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah. Trying to make it as simple as possible. Okay. Let us actually stop there. There's 2 other examples with inequalities, but we're just gonna focus on this. And this is what's gonna be on our quiz, so we'll just stop there for now.